Nicole. I'm from the trauma department at Hurley Medical Center, and what we're doing is showing you how to prevent injury in your babies. So when baby's born, there are a lot of things to be worried about with safety, but we want to make sure that one, you have a safe car seat, your car seat fits your child, and that it can fit into your vehicle. So we want to prevent, in the case there's ever a crash and your baby's in the car with you, that there's as little injury or no injury if possible. Please know that we cannot possibly cover every single thing that we need to know in this short segment. So be sure to have your manual both for the car seat and for your car, your vehicle, and then you can learn all the details about your specific seat and your specific car. So all three of these children are placed, little infants, in the different types of seats. Two of the seats are able to go rear facing, where one is an infant-only baby carry seat. Because there are so many different types of seats, it's really important to know, again, that these children are fitting in the seat and it's tested after crash testing to show the importance of how the harness needs to be placed on the shoulders of the child, how the chest clip needs to be high up so that it's at the armpits on the bone, and that the harnesses need to be at or below the shoulder so that they scoop around the shoulder of the child. And the best way that we can test and make sure that our straps are tight enough is that we cannot pinch any extra harness. So we know that all that harness is pulled in through the seat and it's nice and tight, but we can fit 2 fingers underneath so we know it's not too tight. So I'm going to review different seats and how to put them into your car, and then we're going to go over some safety tips and tricks. So you can always reach out to safekids@hurleymc.com or safekids.org, all one word, and there's a whole bunch of information to help keep your baby safe. It's very important to understand that all 3 of the car seats that you're looking at are suitable for an infant. All 3 of these seats can be used for a little baby. So there's a convertible seat that goes forward facing after the child grows up. But the baby carry seat, most people are familiar with. The baby carry seat is rear facing only. So rear facing is the most safe way to transport a baby. Up till age 2, rear facing is what will protect their spine and protect their brain. So if there's ever a crash, it's very important that the child is rear facing and installed in the car properly. So we often repeat in our baby safety classes how important the angle of the car seat is, because we know baby has a very floppy head. So if the car seat is not at the right angle and reclined just enough, the way that the manufacturer's recommendations ask you to recline the seat, the child can go too far forward and their head can actually fall forward. This could pinch off their airway and be very dangerous for the baby. We always want to remember that all vehicles are different. All cars have different seat belts, and all cars have different latch attachments. If we install the seat with a locked seat belt, it will stay in place if you turn or if you're driving. We say BLT, like the sandwich. Buckle the seat belts, and then lock it, and then tighten the seat down. BLT. So we buckle, lock, then tighten. As you look at your own car and all the different kinds of seat belts, you might only have a lap belt. You might very well have a shoulder strap. Sometimes when you put the seat belt through the belt path of the seat, your car does not have a locking option. So we use, it's called a locking clip. This usually comes with your car seat. So we want to make sure baby is as safe as they can be by buckling through the belt path on the car seat, locking, and then tightening down the car seat, BLT. You can call Safe Kids at any time. You can find out some details if you have a sewn-on buckle or if you have any other, just a lap option. very important, if you want to use these lower anchors in the car, you can use hooks on the car seat and attach them to the lower anchors. But you can't use both because it was not crash tested that way. So we need to use either the seat belts or the locking lower anchors, just one or the other. If we're only installing our base, they often have an extra leg. So we make sure that it's installed at the right angle. So when we click our baby seat onto the top, that it stays at the angle reclined most safe for your baby. And we run our seatbelt through the belt path, and then we click and buckle in the seat to place. Then we lock the seatbelt and we tighten it. Again, most seats also have your option to go into the lower anchor setting and then use a hook to buckle it in place. If we use the hook, it's important though to only use the hook or only use the seatbelt. We cannot have the front seat wedged up on the car seat. When we're crash testing for car seats, when the seat is installed properly rear facing, it actually bounces. So if there's a crash and someone hits your car, the car seat will actually bounce. And that's called absorbing the crash force. So the force does not hurt the baby because this seat bounces and absorbs the crash force. Once that child goes forward facing, the seat is then fixed to the car, the vehicle seat, and that child absorbs the crash force. So the seat in the middle is from a grant through the Michigan State Police. That seat, as large as it is, can fit babies from 5 pounds all the way to 65 pounds. So it will be rear facing up until the child is able to go forward at 2 years old, and then after 2 years old, it can fit the child all the way to 65 pounds. But it also fits all the way down to a 5-pound baby. If you work with any of the agencies in Flint, MDHHS or the CHAP program or Head Start, also there are through the health department different options, and we have grants. So child passenger safety technicians have access to these seats, and they can help through the grant to provide your family with a seat for your child. There are waiting lists, so you should get on the list right away. But this seat can actually be used for an infant. It can also be used when the child is larger, as I said, up to 65 pounds. So having the seat as a convertible, there's a little arm that comes out here, and we install this seat, and you can put a 5-pound baby in it. So what's important about this seat is as the child grows, it continues to grow with the child. So you can actually have one seat for the life of the child up to 65 pounds, and this is provided by the grant. There is a need to go through a class, so it's about a half an hour for your baby before they're born and any other children in the family to go through education for the grant seats. So we'd like to get you onto that waiting list as soon as you know you're going to be in need. But please keep looking for a seat. There are options in Flint and the surrounding area to have a seat from the grant, but you are required by law to leave the hospital with a seat for your baby. We always recommend friends and family or borrowed seats, or there are some pregnancy resource centers also. But having a seat to drive the baby home in is required by law, and they take it very, very seriously.